Hello, my brothers, my friends, my esteemed colleagues. Today, I was asked to explain manifestation. And what does it mean, manifesting faster? Well, to explain manifestation, again, we have to go back to quantum field. Without it, almost nothing can be really explained. So what is manifestation? Can everybody manifest? Yes, of course, because if you exist, you manifest. Everything that you see as your reality is manifestation. For example, we are being told that our matter is all made out of particles. From the smallest particle, which now we say it's photon, to the largest particle, which is universe. Okay, universe is particle. And people say, well, there is a space in between. Well, space is in between everything. The way we are being told about atom, the atom has a nucleus, right? In the basic core, there is a proton and neutron. And then, way out there is a flying object that we call the electron. And there could be more electrons in different proximities to the nucleus, to the atom. And overall size of the atom depends on the shield that is created by the zooming around electrons. Well, we are understanding now more and more that this is not true. That electrons are not zooming around. They are basically in every location at the same time. So how can that be? Well, because scientists say now it's a fog. Electron creates a fog and it's everywhere at the same time. Well, this is one understanding. You see, as we are getting closer and closer to the basic understanding of the essence of everything, which is energy, then we start returning back to the foundation. So finally we are going to understand that even this electron is not a fog around it, it's energetic field. And the electron does not really exist. It is just energetic field. And why do we say electron exists? Because we have made it up. Because in our eagerness to understand the physicality, we were making up stuff so we can easier understand it. And now we see that the way how we are making them up, it cannot really function. Because there are infinite possibilities. And properties of some element do not really depend on atom and its size and its structure and its valence, how it bonds. It's nothing like it. Okay, it's all fake knowledge that we have made up just to understand where we are living. Now we understand that the same atom, and again we can use carbon, it can be this dark mess under the skillet when you are putting it over fire and you burn stuff, or you burn whatever you are cooking. Not only meat, it could be plant, it could be anything. If you burn it, it turns into carbon. Because carbon, we say it's essence of the biology, biological matter. Everything is structured around the carbon. And we call it the 666. 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons. It's actually the sacred number of creation. Of course, Illuminati, as they turn everything upside down, they made it to be an evil number. Well, it's evil number if you think of it as evil. Now, how that does work? Well, you see, you are changing your reality just by changing your thinking. So, if atom doesn't exist, so how can molecule exist and everything else? Well, because it's all pigment of our imagination. This is the beauty of creation, beauty of life, and this is why everything and anything is possible. In essence, everything is just frequency, energy in different frequencies, different vibrations. Every vibration can create sound, so it's a music, orchestra, symphony, whatever you want to call it. And the brain is programmed to show you this frequency in various ways. One of them is through eyes using light. You see, when you go into basic quantum physics, people say, well, in quantum physics you have a particle. No, you don't have particle in quantum physics. Get rid of this thinking. Quantum physics is physics of infinite possibilities where there is only one thing that exists. You can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it whatever you want to want. But it's an infinite field of conscious energy that can change vibration. Energy is a vibration. So it comes in different vibrations. Now if you assign particular vibration to experience in particular way, now you are manifesting. Okay? So to get where we are now, manifesting conscious being, this is manifestation. Manifesting conscious being, it took, in our way of thinking of time, trillions and quadrillions of years, because it was going step by step by step, and every manifestation was catalogued, and it is catalogued in what we call our genetic code. As our smart scientists call it, junk genes. Everything is documented. This is why every one of us has knowledge of itself and the whole universe and everything that ever existed in the universe, because everything is catalogued and it's in our genes. Only we have a blockage, and we have this blockage because we put it there, just so we can continue experiencing and creating, because we create. And as we create, we are being shown this creation through our senses, which you don't have unless you have physicality. This is why we have the brain, and this is from where everything else manifests. Brain is just a computer with a basic program when we are born. This is why when a child is born, is incoherent. It cannot even touch. You give it something and it goes, doesn't know how to use these arms that it has. It's all new because essentially it's just energy. And now it was given things and now has to learn how to manipulate them, how to use them. It takes a while before start lifting head, a while before it start turning on a belly, a while because it start crawling. Okay, it's all we have to practice and get there, because to the conscious energy, this is a manifestation of physicality is a strange thing. People that were on psychedelic drugs, on acid, what do they see? They see things in geometric forms. If you're under ayahuasca and you have visions, yes, sometimes you see vision as a being, but when you are being explained things, when I was being explained things, aromatherapy, how the body converts certain frequency in other frequencies, and it uses minerals, and how it can cleanse you of these energies or convert them in different energies. To me, it was shown everything in a form of caricature, like similar to Lego blocks. Not as when I was shown my brain, it was shown like almost engine manifold made out of these kind of Lego blocks, two halves. And when I was told, I was shown actually, I was not told, I was shown that I'm going to work in NASA in the future. And I said, well, what can I do in NASA? I have no clue. And then I was shown this manifold and Legos clicking one by one, clicking, 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 until all of a sudden, when one disengaged, the whole manifold, half of the brain, swung around and clicked on the bottom and became unity. And this gave me the knowledge that we are going to go through some major transformation very soon. Because in my lifetime, I'm going to work in NASA, and in my lifetime, I'm going to travel interplanetary. I was told that before. And I was shown this now. I was not shown the traveling yet, but I was shown that I'm going to be working in NASA. That myself and others are going to be chasing out the actors which are there, because whoever works in NASA, they are not scientists, they're actors. Reading scripts, making movies. But we are actually going to change this very soon. This is coming now. And we will have completely new understanding, because right now we are programmed for this game, this experience. And we have graduated. Now some people are still trapped in this experience and they cannot wake up. And this is why they are being exposed to harsher and harsher experiences just to snap out of the dream. So now, when we are talking about the manifestation and thing in general, what creates things is the sacred geometry. This is why, going back to carbon, it can be the dirt coal on the bottom, and as a coal, it is actually electrical isolator. But then you can, same carbon, you can structure it, which means create a different net. And the net is how you position one atom of carbon relaying to the other atom and to other atom, and then you make connections and you create a particular form, net, geometrical form. Depending on this geometrical form, the brain reads it, and according to the programming that we have, it is showing it to you as an animal, or as a mountain, or as a water, and gives it attributes according to this structure. Now you are programmed to experience it. You can jump in the water and swim. You cannot jump on a rock and swim. You'll break your bones. Okay, so, but still, nothing is there. Only energetic field in vibration that your brain is showing to you as a solid hard object, or liquid, or gas, or as nothing, but you can feel it. You can feel the pain. You can smell the flavor. the odor. You can taste the flavor. You cannot see them. You can take any microscope you want, you will not see them. But you take very energy sensitive equipment and you will capture it. Because everything is frequency. Your thought is frequency. So when you are manifesting, you are basically deciphering frequencies and showing them to yourself, because it comes from within out. And you're showing it, everything that you see is your manifestation, nobody else's. But because we are all living in the same pool of energy, like we are all fish in the ocean, and this is our connection, and the ocean is actually the conscious energy, is the creator. And so are we, because we have been given the permission to create. Animals don't have it. Now, how we know that we can create? Well, very simple. Not only building. You see, when you create something with your hands, you understand it. Ah, this is wood. Now I can shave it, I can glue it, I can screw things together, I can make of it this and that and that. And once when you make it, again, everything that you touch, you are just manipulating frequencies. And because of the information that is coming and the program that you have set in, the most logical outcome to you, what you expect to happen, happens. You know that you glue two pieces together, and when it's glued, it's going to stay there, it's going to hold it. You know it. This is why it happens. If you would have doubted it, instead of glue, you put water, and you say, well, this is glue. Well, you doubt it, you know it's not glue. So of course it's not going to stick. This is where the double slit experiment comes in, and it is so fascinating and so important experiment. And still, great majority of physicists don't understand it. Because you put two slits, if you push water through them, as the water breaks and passes through the slit and around the board, it creates curvature of waves. And as they collide, they make pattern, and when they hit the barrier behind the wall, they leave certain mark like a barcode as the little waves that created collide in there. Now, if you throw balls, ping pong balls or tennis balls, if you miss the slit, it bounces back. And if you go through the slit, you will always make only two marks on the background of those slits. But if you shoot electrons or photons through this, and we have invented a machine that shoots photons. So if you shoot photons through this, you are expecting the same thing to happen. But if nobody is watching, it doesn't happen. You just have a waveform in the back, which means your photon disappeared. Why it disappears so easily? Because it has very simple structure and doesn't leave much imprint. So it needs someone to watch, and not only watch, it needs someone to know what is going to happen. Not to think, to know what is going, to expect what is going to happen. You know that you threw ping pong balls and they made two marks. So now you say, okay, I'm shooting now these electrons, photons, and I'm looking, and yes, they're making two marks. And then you go away, and all of a sudden, you look at the wall and it's a wave. So you have to actually put yourself in a position. But now it comes even further. You can just look at the wall, but knowing that there is a double slit behind, and you are going to see the marking of two things. So you are not watching here on a slit to see how the particles are going to separate, but you are watching there on a wall. So the wave had to pass already, and all of a sudden turns into particles. Well, here's what I say also. Once when you know that you are watching photons being shot through a double slit, and you watch it, if somebody not known to you moves the slit away, double slit away, you are still going to see the two markings, because has nothing to do with the slit. The slit is just some information that your brain needs so it can create expectation of what is to come. You have to be convinced. This is where faith comes in. And strong belief is your expectation, which means your mind has to understand the process. This is why when we became conscious of ourselves, then we start dissecting ourselves. We went from the outside towards in. So you cut yourself and you open it, so you look, and then you go deeper and smaller, and microscopes and electronic microscopes, and you invent things just to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Well, you will always see matter. You will always see particles. Why? Because the brain does not understand the world without particles. It is programmed to deal with particles. And now we are again going back to the essence. We have to understand the energy, the frequency, because it all starts there. When we want to manifest, okay, when I start manifesting, well, let's not go manifesting one day. My biggest manifestation, that was manifesting my sailboat. I had no money, and my wife was in debt. Her business collapsed, $150,000 down, debt to bank. How can we get a boat? And I wanted ocean, blue water sailboat of at least 45 feet. So how did I manifest it? It took me 2 years. And I still was in a debt of $150,000. I still had a relatively small salary, and I had my boat. Because we are making people who are aware of manifestation and they believe it, they still don't understand it. Majority, of course, I'm not exemption. But majority people do not understand actually what manifestation is and how it goes. Because when they manifest, they say, okay, I'm going to manifest Ferrari. I'm going to manifest Ferrari. I want Ferrari. Oh, shit. So how am I going to manifest Ferrari? Well, I first have to manifest money. And to make money, well, I have to manifest better job. So all of a sudden, you end up manifesting job, and Ferrari goes away. So if you want to manifest something, you have to manifest your focus on what you want to manifest, because you are going to create. Now the thing is that our mind has to understand it. So you cannot just close your eyes, visualize the thing that you want, and open your eyes and it's there in front of you. Why? Because it makes no sense to your mind, to your consciousness of your physicality. It makes no sense. So you have to convince mind to show it to you. But then again, how can you find a way when you are lost? If you are in a debt, if you have a job that pays you, well, decent salary, but still, even with that saving, if I would be saving, I would need 50 years or more to save enough to get myself to buy this kind of a boat. So how do you get there? Well, you don't focus on the way how you get there. You just focus on what you want to manifest. And then you will have help of your soul. You will have help of your higher self, of the Creator Himself. And He will show you how you can manifest that your mind will understand, because you will always be supported as long as what you want to manifest is not going to harm anybody else. You are going to be always empowered to manifest. And I found a broker who didn't laugh at me, because first thing broker asks you when you want to buy a certain size boat, okay, so what is your present boat? What experience? And my answer was inflatable, because I was a diver and I had my inflatable. I never had any particular hard boat, and now I wanted 45, 50 foot catch, double-masted sailboat. Okay, so nobody takes you seriously. And one guy did, and this is how I went, and all of a sudden, when time was right and I really focused on this one particular thing that I wanted and looked through magazines, I was sleeping with it, and within 2 years, bingo, I got it. Fully paid off. And still being 150,000 in there. And all legal. Okay? So, this is manifestation. But this is nothing yet to manifest. This is logical stuff. But we do a lot of manifesting that we are not even aware of. What are the races of wild dogs? Well, you have the dingo, you have coyote, you have wolf, you have Zorro, which is fox. You have wild dog in Africa. Okay? So you have maybe 5 different types of dogs. Now, where did now Schnauzer come in? Where did Poodle come in? How did Portuguese water dog appear? How did Malamute appear? How did Rottweiler appear? What happened? Don't you think we have something to do with this? Of course we do. How? We didn't genetically play with the stuff. We have created it. And typical thing that happened just with my wife. She had a Shih Tzu dog. And Shih Tzu got pregnant. And these little doggies start walking around. They were like a mouse, this size. And walking around, and my wife said, "Whoa, I wish one would stay this small." And guess what happened? One stayed that small. All the others grew, they were this size, and this one was this size. It was a fluff ball. And now I took a scissors, and actually it was a small electric cutter, and I shaved the dog, this miniature mouse. I shaved it in a lion's cut that I used to give to my Portuguese water dog. So you had a miniature lion. This was the funniest thing I have ever seen, and people were cracking up. And the attitude was there. So, manifestation. Everything that is, we have manifested. We are manifestors. But we are just not aware of many things. Now, we say, well, but without atom, nothing can exist. So what is this atom? Atom is electron and nucleus. Now this electron, we were told, is flying like a satellite. Well, now we know that this is not so. Now, physicists say, no, electron is actually like a fog. It is everywhere at the same time, in its orbit, of course. Well, soon we are going to discover that it's not fog. As we are waking up and going more and more to the basic, we understand it's just energy field. It's aura. And aura can be larger and smaller. And this aura depends on what? On a structure. You change the structure. You position atoms, imaginary atoms, in different way and connect them. You get different net, different geometric structure. And all properties are changing. Same carbon that is isolated can become highly conductive in the form of graphene. And graphene is a carbon, just a different net. And it captures sun, and it can convert sunlight into electricity. How the heck does it? Well, everything is just frequency, and light is the only quantum manifestation other than this vibrational structure. The vibration of itself, when it starts creating, it creates infinite possibilities of contacts, which I explain. Just check my videos on quantum, or better, my articles. It's much easier to see it from article on my site. And the structure that it creates, the overall foundation of this sacred geometry, we are calling the flower of life. Drunvalo Melchizedek did fabulous work on this. Read his books. His books are fabulous. There are 2 books about sacred geometry. This is where I got my basic knowledge. This is why I call Drunvalo Melchizedek my mentor, even though I never met him in person. But his knowledge just was necessary for me to crystallize some things that were unsettled in my mind. So basically everything is, the truest form of everything is just vibration in variety of frequencies that your brain now, because of programming, is prepared to show them to you through your senses, either visually through eyes or senses of smell, touch, and essential feeling, how you feel, your emotion. And all of these, again, are just electromagnetic waves. They can be captured. They can be stored, and they create our genetic chain. And this is why whenever the frequency around you changes, where your environment changes, then you tap into the genetic pool. The genes start vibrating and showing you how you should acclimate to this change. So your energy doesn't get thrown out of whack and change. So we know everything, but we just don't know how to get to this knowledge. It doesn't exist in the books. It is in your genetic code. And the only way to get there is to go within, no out. Forget about the books. You get nothing from books. You get someone's opinion. And most of them are wrong, if not all. We are learning now, again, we are discovering what we basically know. But this is the beauty of this manifestation, of this experience, because as we are discovering this, there are new emotions, there's new highs coming in that are all being recorded in our genetic chain. And for this, God is richer, has more information. Every our experience is feeding back into the matrix. It's feeding back into overall knowledge of the Creator. This is why what we are doing is invaluable. Every one of us is creating, some consciously, some subconsciously. So now, how can we change our creation? How can you change? You don't like what's happening, how can you change it? Well, you will not change it by protesting. You will not change it by shooting somebody, by yelling. You are just going back in a wheel of your experiences recent that you have, because your brain does not know what else to do. This is how it's programmed. You do something wrong, well, I'm gonna kill this guy. This is our basic programming of our reptilian brain. Now we know you don't achieve nothing. You just go back and forth and back and forth without advancing. You advance when you realize that you want to change something, you change it here. And as quicker we realize it, the quicker we can start manipulating our reality. Jesus says you can move the mountain if you believe that you can move it, because it has to be expectation. Your brain has to be convinced. It has to have all the clues of how to do it and why it's going to be done, so you can finally experience it. Because mind just picks and chooses from infinite possibilities only what it makes sense to it. And this is why you cannot fly, because mind says, well, you are heavy and there is a gravity. If mind would not tell you this, if you would not have this knowledge, well, you can do miraculous things. So now we are going to go through change, and all this false knowledge, well, it was what was needed for us to grow. We have been through very, very harsh program. This experience, this movie of living on this planet Earth, is very, very strong experience. Bible refers to it as hell. Devil was turned into snake, and snake was pushed into flame of hell. Well, where is snake come to? To planet Earth. Bible tells you a lot of clues, but also gives you a lot of lies to lead you in this particular direction, so you start manifesting what those who wrote Bible want you to manifest. This is why Bible had to be spread around the world, everywhere, so people can manifest the future. Who wrote the Bible? Semites. But you cannot even mention the word Semite without being attacked in all different directions, from all different directions, because you have to be shut up, because you cannot talk against Semites. Well, this is the base of the evil that we have. Now, how evil is created? Evil is definitely not God's creation. God would never fight with evil. God has no need to fight with anything. He knows everything and does not create things like this. Evil is created through our physicality, because your physicality, self-consciousness, can imagine things. And it is enough for you to get some information. Somebody tells you, something that you can imagine. Look, there is this evil spirit that looks like a goat, and this is going to has the same power of a god, and be careful, because if you don't do things as God wants, the devil will take you over. And we are being told these things. So this is information that comes into the brain, and you have a program that you can manifest. So as soon as you have enough information so you can create this picture of it and you can visualize it, you have manifested it. And this is exactly what happened to me when I was, I think, 4 years old. I was still in Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, on one Christmas, and I was told that now two creatures will come. One of them something like Santa Claus, and with him will come Lucifer, and Santa Claus will ask questions, and if you have been good, Santa Claus will give you, Ded Mraz will give you gifts, and if you have been bad, well, the devil will get you. And my mother read me Bible, so I knew basically what the devil was, because I learned from Bible. I don't know, either Bible or my mother's interpretation, but no difference. So what happened? Bell rang, and I ran to the door. I opened the door, and I saw figure in front of me, and right behind him I saw devil. And because I knew that I'm not perfect kid, far from it, because my mother would always say, where devil cannot go, he sends you. Even as a kid, I was exploring my things. So I completely ignored the first creature. I just zero on the other, and I saw everything. I saw the dark black face of a goat with red long tongue. I saw the horns. I saw behind the tail, like a lion's tail with the little muff on the top. I saw the hoofs. I saw even the pitchfork. I saw a real devil. I got so scared that I screamed. I ran into the kitchen, hid under the table because there was a tablecloth. I hid. I was shaking and I was screaming, close the door, close the door, close the door. Later on, my parents told me, well, that was your father with code upside down. It was, instead of code being put this way, it was put this way, so it's closed here and head. But expectation and information I had, it created a vision of the devil. This is how devil was created. This is how demons are created. We create them and then we empower them. And more you think about them, more power you give them, the more power they possess. Since then, I never ever had this problem because I stopped manifesting this. I erased it from my memory. Now I understand it. Devil does not exist unless you create it and you accept it and you obey it and you sign with your blood. And who empowers you? Other people with the same beliefs who are around you, and then they feed you the money, the fame, whatever you want, and you say, oh, devil gave me this. No. Those people who support this system, Luciferians, the Vatican, they gain their possession through robbing, stealing, and killing. They have a lot of power now because of that, but they don't have the true power. The true power is power of manifestation. They cannot manifest because with your manifestation, you cannot actually create good things. This is why they need people as their slaves to manifest for them, to create for them good things. So now, more we know, the faster we can manifest. And I know that when I'm free, and I will be free, I was told, after this summer, free of this particular type of work, of course, and free to travel. Probably the work will continue because many people will have to be educated and re-educated to the new reality. Again, brain will have to be loaded because we are going to go through transition this time with our physicality, which is first time, as I am aware of, as I sense, because again, I cannot prove any of this. This is the feeling. This is the faith that makes clarity. And it feeds the information to the brain, which then brain can calculate and see, wow, yeah, I get it. Your ego says, oh, okay, so maybe we can do this. And more experiments you do and you prove it to yourself, because now you start expecting things. So you do dowsing, you use pendulum, and you say, wow, yeah, pendulum turns this way, I didn't move my hand. Of course you moved your hand. Pendulum doesn't move unless you move your hand, but you do it subconsciously. You wait for your physicality, your consciousness of physicality, to do it for you. So your mind sees the result and says, oh, okay, I understand. Now when we start manifesting faster, so I know if I will have time, of course, because I follow my intuition. Intuition is a guide, and it should be everybody's guide. Intuitively what you feel, this is what it is. And through the information I received, I know that from here, my next step is NASA, but I don't know where, when, in our time frame. And if I will have chance, I want to manifest again boat and live on a boat for some time. And this manifestation will be fast. I know exactly. I want Neil Trimaran, Neil 51, and I want it set up completely without me having to rebuild and reset and monkey with broken things. So I will have to manifest it in a pristine condition. And no, I have no money, and I don't have $2 million or $1.5 million, whatever the cost is. It's rising. I don't have it, and I'm not worrying about it. I don't want the money. I want the boat. So if it is within the game that we are playing, if there is a slot for it, I will do it. If there is no slot for it, well, I'm going to go where I have to go. But we can manifest. And if I really decide with my wife, no, we'll do first this, well, you do first that. This is no other way around it. Okay, so you can manifest anything you want to manifest. You just have to focus on it, and you have to understand it. Your brain has to understand it, so that you can put faith behind it, and you can expect, I understand this happens like this, okay, boom. You close your eyes, you open them, and it's right there. You can do it. Because everything is still just frequencies in a form of sacred geometry processed through your brain and shown through your senses. So you can see it, you can feel it, you can experience it. And After this shift, when we reform our brain, when things set in its place, then you are going to, or we are going to be able to manifest instantly. So you want something, you want steak à poivre, steak with a pepper sauce? Well, close your eyes, visualize it, how you remember it, in the size that you want. Recall the aroma, the flavors. You open your eyes and it's right there in front of you. Because you know that it is just electromagnetic frequency that is processed through your brain and shown through your senses. And your thought is electromagnetic frequency. Oh, a load of them. They are electromagnetic frequencies. It does not matter if somebody made it and sent it to you, or if you made it because you created. Your brain can replicate any frequency it is familiar with. And if you can see it, smell it, taste it, you know it. Your brain knows it because those are the frequencies. And it can reproduce them for you. Now it's again, we have to be convinced. We have to convince our ego, our mind, that this is what is happening and this is the product. And it will be there. Now it's very difficult because we have all kinds of stupid programs, false programs, completely contrary to the reality, which is the work of Kabbalah, work of the Semite, okay, and the creatures that came from the Anunnakis, reptilians, and it all shifts, it all changes. But we are in control of it because you manifest only what your mind is convinced is going to happen. If you are convinced that you have a cancer, you have a cancer. If you are convincing yourself that you are sick, well, this is your nocebo effect. You are basically telling yourself, I'm sick, I'm coughing, I have broken arm, I can. Well, this is what you manifest. If you change the way of thinking, and if you say, well, I'm healthy, now it's very difficult to convince yourself when you are in pain that you are healthy. But again, the pain is already manifestation of something negative that you have manifested. So we just have to get in sync and start realizing what manifestation is and how to go about it and do it correctly. And this is the process we are now learning. And we are going to continue learning this process. Even after we made a shift, not all of a sudden now we can manifest, because still we have to get used to it, like a baby. Getting used to how to close the hands, how to walk, how to crawl, how to speak. We'll have to learn how to manifest. It will be tap, 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 falling, getting up. But it's going to be happening faster and faster and faster until we can manifest anything we want. And of course, we are going to stay with our gadgets because we love gadgets. Even if now you can manifest yourself anywhere on this planet, I bet you that majority of especially guys would want to have some plane or some Ferrari or some big ass bike to get there. They don't want to just appear. The travel is what is interesting. This is why sailors, there's difference between sailors and powerboaters. On powerboat, you want to get there. Okay, so you start and now I want to be there. Sailboat, you start and you say, finally I'm sailing. You don't care how long it takes. You are sailing, you are enjoying the voyage. We are enjoying the voyage. But because of fear, because we are sidetracked, because we are being told lies, we are manifesting all kinds of nasty things instead of manifesting beautiful things. And now we have to understand that all bad we have manifested. So now stop with that crap. Start manifesting good things. And people now are congregating. There is more and more people that want to manifest unity, empowerment, helping each other. And they get together. And those who are still with devil and who are self-possessive, who don't care about anybody else but themselves, well, they are congregated on their side. Just look at, whoops, sorry about that. So just look at the Antifa and look at the Black Lives Matter, always fighting, and look at the deplorables. They are getting together, they are celebrating, they are enjoying themselves. Manifestation. I hope you have more sense of what manifesting means. I gotta go, somebody's waiting outside and my tripod fell down. Okay, see you next time. Love you all.